Hello and welcome to this lesson about creating box plots. The learning target for this video is knowing what is needed to make a box plot. And so let's just jump straight into it. What is actually needed? Well, there's a couple of things. First, you have to have the median. That definitely is helpful. Second, you have to have the highest point of your data set. And if you have the highest, you're probably going to need the lowest. And the last two are the quartiles. So you need to have the lower quartile and you need to have the upper quartile. Once you have these 5 things, you are drawing a picture. And so actually that's what a box plot's going to look like. We're going to have a number line, and it's going to represent all these little different data points, whatever those are. And your box plot is just it's a visual display of this information. And one thing a box plot does is it breaks everything up into these little 25% chunks. And so it kind of groups things into these little quartiles, these sections of data. And so for example, you'll find out your median, and it might be something like right here. You'll find your lower quartile to be there, maybe your upper quartile to be there. And then what you're going to do is you make a box from here to here, from the lower quartile to the median, and to make a box from the median to the upper quartile. And then you draw some lines to wherever the low point is and wherever the high point is. And one thing I want to try to get across by drawing this out without putting any numbers into it yet is that the size of these lines does not matter. So the size of distance does not matter. We were having a cluster of data in these smaller ones. And it just happens to be really, really close because that area right there represents 25% of your data. But guess what? So does this, 25% of your data. So, for example, a good way to kind of think about this, imagine sort of a bunch of kids in class and all their heights, and you were to line up a bunch of students by height. And I'm trying to make them taller. There we go, put this guy taller. Now, you might have a bunch of kids that are kind of about the same height, and then you're going to have a couple of those really tall kids who just are a lot taller than everyone else. And so their height maybe like way out here, whereas everyone else is kind of clustered in these areas there. So the size of the distance does not matter. What really matters is just where these points are. And so let me walk through a couple of examples of how we find all this stuff. So let's just say we have the following data points: 8, 10, 14, 20, 20, 24. Okay, so we have, first of all, find out how many we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points. So the median is going to be right there. And that's what we have to do. We first have to identify these 5 components. So my median, that's going to be equal to the average of 14 and 20, which is 17. And then so next I'm going to look for my lower quartile. So I'm going to be looking in this area right here. And the median of the numbers in the yellow line is going to be 10. So that's 10. Then I'm going to look for my upper quartile. And that's going to be the median of these numbers, which is 20. I then need to know what my largest value is, or highest value. So I guess I'll use H for that, which is going to be 24, and then I'll need to know what my smallest value is, which is 8. So once I've collected those numbers from my data set, it's just about plotting them on a number line. And so to make things a little easier for this display, I'll go by, let's just say, I gotta go to 24. Let's go by groups of 3. That'll be fun. Okay, so we got 0, 3, 6, 9, that's not quite even. 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24. Okay. A little tight there, but that's all good. All right, so that's 0. This is 24, and we're going in increments of 3. Just write that down. All right, perfect. So now, start with the median. My median is 17, so that's going to be right about here. My lower quartile is 10, so that would be right about there. We make a box. My upper quartile is 20, that would be right about here. And you want to leave these open. You don't want to color them in. And if you want to, you can label them, so that way it's more clear for whoever is reading this, especially if your scale down here doesn't match up with that. And then so 20. And then my low point is 8, which would be right about here. My high point is 24, which is right there. And there, I made a box and whisker plot. So again, it's just all about finding those 5 components and then drawing it on a number line. And then keep in mind that from the quartiles to the median, you have boxes. And sometimes these are called box and whiskers because you draw a box and then you have a whisker going to the smallest value and to the largest value. If you have any questions about how to do this, please let me know.